What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name is Greg. For one, I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Times are crazy. It's kind of what I'm talking to you guys about today. Is I've had some really terrible experience with support recently. I'm sure most of you have had too. I mean, there's definitely reason to understand for that, but it's just a frustrating, tough time. So one thing that's been happening with me, and I wanted to talk about this in this video because I believe Dylan was having the same issue, and I was wondering if a lot of other drivers were having this problem too. But I started getting these like support inquiries in my Uber inbox probably 2-3 days ago, and basically it was from Uber support asking if my phone call had solved my issue. So I was like, well, I didn't call in. What is this about? So I immediately thought my account got hacked, and I started asking around, and a lot of other people were saying they were getting random messages from Uber support. So there's nothing fishy with my account. I looked into it and everything, but I'm wondering if their system is just so in overhaul right now that they're glitching up like crazy, because it seems like this is happening to a lot of people that didn't write into support or anything or call into support, to Uber support, and they're getting these like really weird messages from Uber. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, here's a time where like everyone I've talked to that has been calling in has told me they've been put on like 3 to 6 hour holds, trying to get a hold of them, sometimes longer. And I'm like, so the staff you guys do have, you're messing up and emailing and texting people that you don't need to talk to, So, I mean, I get it. So things are probably just crazy there right now. I mean, you got to imagine with what they are dealing with like they already fired like so many employees right before this, so there's way less people working at Uber than normal. So yeah, it's just crazy times. Pretty much all Uber and Lyft hubs nationwide are closed. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe your one hub in frickin' wherever the heck you live is still open. But from what I've seen, everything else is closed. There's way less employees for Uber right now. Like, we definitely know about that. And what does this all mean? Well, I mean, Uber and Lyft is essentially doing the same things that every other smart business is doing. They're trying to keep enough staff to still operate. I'm waiting for, I feel like any time in the next week or two, they're just going to send everyone home and just be like, all right, we're done. So I think the future of ride sharing is pretty bleak right now. This is something I've been talking to a lot of you guys. I've gotten a lot more texts and emails now that you guys don't have anything to do. So glad you guys are watching more content since we have the time off. But it's just been cracking me up. But a lot of you have been saying the same thing to me. I've been seeing this like consistent message that I keep getting, basically asking me, what do I think? And then usually you guys tell me what you think. And almost everyone I've talked to has pretty much told me that they don't think Uber and Lyft is going to exist after this. I think they will. I think they're just not going to be the same. So let's kind of go over what's happened since this whole thing is. Right before everything really got crazy, Uber released this statement that they got mega money in the bank. They're not worried. They're prepared to handle this, always talking a huge game of smack like they always do. And then it was like a week later, everything shut down. I remember I was like, they probably didn't think it was going to get that bad. But like a week later, everything shut down, and they were just like, then they didn't say anything. And this is like a typical Uber and Lyft move, is in times where we kind of need to hear from you, you're going to go MIA and not say anything. Right before it got really bad, they were acting like they had no worries, just chilling. Not even like remotely scared. It was like literally the message they put out, which was probably just a big media front. I get that. But I remember thinking it was super funny, because then it was like literally right after that, all of a sudden no one's taking an Uber or Lyft. It was like right after that, nobody just, I think it was like right before the beginning of the March that the Uber CEO or whoever it was said that. So fast forward to where we're at now. Pretty much all schools nationwide are completely suspending their graduation, which huge bummer to anyone who would have been graduating this year. I know a ton of you on the channel probably did this while you were getting through school, and that's incredibly disappointing that a lot of you won't get to experience graduation. I'm really sorry. I know people have like really worked their tails off and are getting robbed of a lot of experiences they deserve, but it's just tough. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is like, let's look at it now. So now we have no schools until probably fall, because they're going to continue to go online until graduation. Everyone's going to get summer off. And then I think everyone's thinking hopefully by fall we can reset again. So put that in perspective, that's a huge bulk of your business. Think about how many kids nationwide are commuting just for school. I mean, you got to think, there's a gazillion colleges. There's junior colleges, there's community colleges, there's huge colleges. I mean, there's trade schools, all these different things that are all strictly going online. All these different people, all the staff, all the faculty, everybody that would have been Ubering and Lyfting to work, to school, is now not. There's a huge chunk of business. And then you have all non-essential businesses shut down. I mean, we're talking, what do we have left? Grocery stores and certain restaurants that do takeout, which Uber Eats and all that is going to be the move right now if you are still trying to make money. Switch to delivery. Like, I talked to a guy recently, he said he was a driver in Maryland, and he said that it's less than, I believe I brought up a number saying it was somewhere between $7 to $10 an hour, and he was like, oh, it's even less than that in Maryland. Shout out to my man, by the way. I did forget your name, but I will remember. But so Uber and Lyfting everywhere right now is literally going to be like $5-6 an hour, no doubt. I literally wouldn't be shocked if it's even cheaper. So we have restaurants that are just doing delivery. We have grocery stores. What else, And so what reason are people really going to have to Uber or Lyft? And if they do, where are they going? To the friggin' grocery store? Or they're going and they're going to ask you to go through the drive-thru, which is like the most annoying rides. I used to do it for people all the time, and I would always get mad at myself for doing it. I was like, drive-thru needs to be the one thing where I'm like not nice and drawing a line and be like, no, you're not getting your freaking McDonald's at 1 a.m. Come on. Like, I'm working here, buddy. So business is dead. Like, and what I'm thinking is it's going to be a few months before we even really see it go back to normal. I think life's going to slowly get more and more normal. Everyone on the news right now, I think, is saying that like late April, maybe it'll be at least a little more functional. But the thing is the world being a little more functional doesn't mean Uber and Lyft is just going to be back to normal. Like, I feel like in most people's eyes right now, going somewhere and doing something is considering like a luxury and an expense they don't want to invest in, So I don't foresee it being normal for a super long time, if not ever. I think when a company is as big as Uber and Lyft is, it just doesn't fall from something like this, but I think the recovery takes a long time. They're too big, they're huge companies, and even if they lose a ton of money, everybody knows that if the world goes back to normal, Uber and Lyft is just a part of everyone's life for the most part now. So they're going to find some investor, somebody who's going to be willing to come in and help them recover. But I think more than anything, what you guys need to be prepped for during these times is something like 3 to 6 months of not normal work. And it's going to be a tough time for a lot of people. It already has been. That's been the hardest thing, is so many of you have written in and have just asked me like what you can do. And I don't know. I'll give you guys a few suggestions, but for the most part, I don't know. Like, it really is an insane time. So here's a few things we can all do. Obviously, you guys heard about the stimulus bill. You need to have your taxes paid to get that money. So if you haven't yet, it's still not too late to do your taxes. Like, go do them today, you know, so that you can get that money to help you get by. I mean, every month you can get through it is another month that you survive until it gets back to normal. So just think day by day, week by week, or, you know, and at the most month by month, you know, how do you survive each day, each week? Some other things, I've had a lot of friends that have gone to certain call centers, and if they've got a laptop, a good cell phone, you know, they're getting jobs at call centers, temporary work from home jobs. And then that's not ideal. I've worked a call center and I've worked Uber and Lyft. I would much rather drive for Uber and Lyft, not gonna lie to you. But at the same time, you got to do what you got to do. But mainly, guys, like, this is a time where you got to be scrappy and you got to be able to hustle, you know? So whatever you got to do, you just got to figure it out. If you got to sell stuff, if you got to talk to family, do it, you know, just do what you got to do. But I would say plan for the worst, because you can't make assumptions, good, like earlier assumptions in a time like this. You can't be assuming things are going to get normal earlier than they will. So I would plan for 3 to 6 months, but crazy times, guys. So yeah, let's get through this all together, and stay safe, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon.